situation a year and a half ago. So, you know, that's fine. If you can't remember, just say I don't remember exact time frames. I have trouble remembering what I did yesterday sometimes. So at some point you can't find him, and you decide to call 911.
I can't find him. I went to the garage because that's where he said he was going to be, but he wasn't in the garage. And then I looked and saw the side door open. So I walked around the house in the inside and calling him, no answer. I called his phone first because he always had his phone on him. But then he ran in the house, in the bedroom. And
so you used your phone and you called his phone and you heard his phone ringing. And where did you find his phone?
It's in the bedroom. He had his uniform folded up on the floor with his shoes, and then on top of it was his phone.
So when you walked outside to look, where exactly did you go outside?
I just pushed my head through the door, the side door. I don't like going outside. Not in the day, not in the night.
Did he work around the house, like landscaping?
Yes, he loves gardening and everything.
So you had a fence. You had a white fence. Did you ever go outside that fence along the canal on the back? Did you ever go back there?
Yeah, he has trees back there, plants.
That he planted?
Yeah, he mowed the lawn back there.
Okay. Are they sugarcane? Or?
He has sugarcane, he has cherry, he had pineapple. I think he did have yam or potato, because he does some big brown things.
And those on the back side?
Yes, the back, yeah.
Alright, so it would not have been uncommon for him to go back there?
Not at all, no.
Right, I got you. Alright, so when you finally decided to call 911, do you remember your conversation with the person that you were talking to from at the 911 call? Do you remember what your conversation was like?
Told him that he started to take a new medication and he wasn't really acting like himself. But I couldn't remember the name of it because I think it was 2 weeks prior. We took him to the hospital. I took him to the hospital because he was complaining that he's tired, his legs hurt, and he's not feeling himself. And I told him I was trying to spell the name of the medication. And I was giving him I can never remember.
Unprofessional. So, okay, I heard the call, and you did do that. And was there any other medication that he would take at the time, in addition to the alprazolam?
He takes his regular heart medicine and I believe blood pressure medicine, but I don't know what hour of the day he takes them.
So you also mentioned that he took Benadryl.
No.
You did?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. If I play you the call, will that help you remember?
Sure.
Maybe I can do that in a couple minutes. I'll bring you back to my office and let you hear the call.
Okay.
Did Calvin take Benadryl?
He might have because he has allergy. So yes, we would have that in the house.
Okay.
We also have Allegra. That's all we do.
What was that, his problem with allergies? What was the issue with that?
I know he couldn't be where the carpet is. So we had to tile, when we got the house, it had to be tiled. When we were in Miami, he tiled the floor as well. So that's what.
What was he allergic to specifically? Do you remember?
No. Just dust. Just dust.
What were his symptoms of allergy? What would he get?
Sometimes he said he couldn't breathe. Yeah. And also, if you have one like strong perfume, he says, no, you can't wear that one.
Do you know if he took Benadryl to sleep?
He might have taken it. I know the doctor gave him Zolpidem. That's what he does give him.
Was the Benadryl that you had in the house, was it pill or liquid?
Yeah.
With pills.
And he did have cortisone, which is a liquid and also it comes in pill form.
What was that for?
That's high blood pressure, but when you have a cold.
Okay.
supposed to raise your blood pressure.
So he had allergies where you had to remove the carpet from the house because of dust.
It's dust. But that's not the house here. The house in Miami, he had them changed to the tile. But the one here, he made sure that our bedroom had tile. The guest room had carpet.
Alright. Do you want to run through those questions?
Did he ever have any form of allergy testing done? Do you know if he ever went to the doctor to get any official results of his allergy testing to see what he was actually allergic to?
You might want to check the doctor in Miami, Dr. Jarrett, because that's when he started talking about allergies.
Okay. How long had he been taking allergy medication to your knowledge throughout your relationship? And you know how long?
I don't know.
That you know of. I don't want you to speculate or say something that you don't know, but as far as you know, how long had he been taking some form of allergy medication?
Yes, Miami. That would be like we have here almost 13 years now.
Okay. So he was able to sufficiently take allergy medication for 13 years of his life. And did you administer those allergy medications to him at any point?
I don't give it to any medicine.
Okay. So he was in charge of taking his own medication. Was there any point in life where he wasn't able to take his own medication on his own free will and you had to do it for him? Did anybody else ever give him medication to your knowledge?
Nobody else.
Did anybody else ever force him to take medication to your knowledge? Did you ever force him to take any medication?
Never.
Was there any point in your relationship that you forced him to take Benadryl against his will?
No.
How about giving him Benadryl?
No.
So during the duration of your relationship, specifically towards the end of everything occurring, up to leading up to this day, did you ever force him to take medicine?
I have never taken. I'm forced him to take medicine. I've never told him that you better go and do your medicine.
Did you ever see a need to do that?
No.
Was he able to make these decisions soundly and correctly on his own?
Yeah, now, if how he takes the medicine, I cannot tell if he followed that direction.
Okay.
The only thing I told him, because this is how I take my medicine,
Right.
I have a Monday through Friday thing, and this will help you know to know whether or not you took your medicine that day.
Okay.
And he refused to get one of those.
Okay. So the specific day leading up to, this evening where you couldn't find him, did you force him to take medication that day? Did you give him Benadryl?
No.
Did you watch him take Benadryl that day? Did you watch him take?
I didn't see him.
I'm sorry to spit fire questions at you, but did you watch him take any form of medication that day?
No medicine. When we were watching the TV, it was the last thing I heard because, that's the first I see him watching with us.
Okay.
But he just said he's going to take his medicine now.
Okay. At that point, during the evening, was anybody else in the house with you?
Nobody.
Could someone else have come into your home while he was in the garage and forced him to take medication?
No, I wouldn't think so.
Okay. Do you have any reason to believe that happened?
No.
Was your family, your daughters, son-in-laws, were they in the house at that moment?
No. It was just the both of us. I finished working at 8. And the accident starts at 8. And we watched it. Calvin does not really watch regular shows. It's news, politics, the church, politics. Yeah.
It's not a good thing to watch before bed.
No. Especially right now.
So I want to go back to Calvin's phone for a minute. You have a lot going on in that moment. You're obviously.
I'm gonna see if I can get the call.
Okay.
Play that.
Sure. You're obviously concerned, justifiably, because that's okay now. So the moment that you call cell phone, Calvin's, from your phone, and you locate it inside of your bedroom, do you recall at some point during the evening, whether even if after police officers got there, using his phone to make phone calls to try to find him? Maybe by calling.
That was on there.
Correct.
I would imagine I couldn't say yes we did.
Okay.
But it is something that you might have done. Might have done. Because I was looking to see who was the last person you spoke to.
Okay.
At what time.
And were you able to figure that out?
No. I just assume, because I know in the nighttime he usually speaks to
contacted his phone?
It would be on maybe his last name or something like that. I don't talk to his people.
Okay. Do you know if you called your daughters or your family from his phone?
No, it would be
You
on
use your own phone for that?
Yeah.
Okay. But at some point we can possibly surmise that you used his phone in an attempt to try to figure out who he spoke with. Is that correct?
This might take a couple minutes. Bear with me.
Did Calvin know that his father had passed away? He didn't know at all? Okay, so nobody that you know told him?
No, because he passed after the Friday before they found Calvin. They found Calvin the Saturday. And when his sister came over, she didn't call us to say he passed or anything. We were looking on, it's like a Facebook, I think there's a message came up from the pastor of his church. And they said, is that guy? And that's how we know. And it was the Friday when she came up and said to her, Dominic, it is that guy. And she said, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he wasn't aware of it.
I wasn't aware of it.
And is there any other way he could have learned that without you knowing? Could he have found that out and maybe not mentioned it? Is that something that you think
But he would have his phone to be in contact with any family.
And again, is that something he would withhold from you for any reason?
That is not a pass, right? I'm trying to tell you already. Even if you don't even know the person, tell you that this person passed.
Okay.
And one of the things he was worried that if that should pass, he wouldn't have money to go to Jamaica.
Okay.
And that was when I joined, I don't know what I do, where I do, it's called a partner.
Okay.
Where a lot of members, a lot of people would pay like $50 or $100, depending on the hat. And you give it to one person.
Okay.
And then each week somebody gets the lump sum of everything.
Is that like a private group or is that like a church to a church?
No, private.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't aware of that. But that's something that I
It's
do
called
do.
a partner. Yeah. Right now they have another one going. I'm not into that one.
So you just pick and choose, what you want to contribute to.
Yeah, you have to, when you sign up, you have to say, I'm going to be the one doing the half hand, which is usually like $50, or a full hand, which is 100. But you have to stick to what you're coming into.
But you don't have to sign up for every single one. Do you?
Every time I go in?
Yeah.
No, it's up to you.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking.
Did you go through the cell phone?
So we talked about the phone.
Calls coming in.
She said that, the only thing we spoke about was whether or not she recalled using Calvin's phone at some point to see who he had been talking to last. And albeit that it's probably likely she doesn't necessarily recall that.
Okay.
So.
Do you remember if it was, now when you called, you said it rang, it was with his clothes, his uniform and stuff. Once word got out that he was missing, I'm assuming you called some family and your daughters.
My daughter called my sister.
Right.
And I don't remember who called his son. But I do remember speaking to his son's wife. And she told me he's on his way leaving work to come up here.
Okay. And so did Calvin's phone start ringing? Do you remember hearing it ring that night when you were trying to find him? You had already called 911?
It started to ring.
Did you ever answer it?
I don't know.
No?
No, my daughter would have, or his son would have answered it. Because they took it, because I was waiting to see, the progress the police were making.
Okay.
Because that's when the dogs stopped, they brought the dogs.
Yeah. Alright, I'm going to play you your call, so it might refresh your memory. Maybe you can explain some parts of it. Okay?
Okay.
So hopefully it sounds good. If you can't hear it, just let me know. Okay.
So he traumatized.
Okay, Harlan Drive. How long ago have he told you this?
But he checked the garage, he's not there. Right, the side door was open. But I don't see him.
Okay, how long ago
I did, when I saw him like a for 12:35, thereabouts. Yeah. I was coming into my room, in the room, and then he was going outside, and I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to get something in the garage.
Okay,
And I can't see him.
alright, what was your name?
He left.
What was his name?
And then I think, his name is Calvin.
Alright, Calvin, spell his last name?
Berry.
Date of birth?
12:62.
And what color shirt, what color pants is he wearing?
It should be a gray shirt. And everything he has on a black short.
Black hair, or, what color hair, what color eyes?
His hair is getting gray, but it's covering low.
Okay, possibly, and what color eyes?
It's brown.
Is the car out there?
Yes, the two cars. His truck and his car are not out there. The seats are inside, and he doesn't go anywhere without his phone.
Alright,
And he's saying that they have him on something like that to help him sleep, because he hasn't been sleeping that well.
also, what do you mean, like, does he have a machine up the bottom when he was on the out, or?
No, it's muscle, not muscle. It's like a relaxer. You know, that's like,
So he's on the muscle relax? Okay. You said the side door is your garage door, correct?
right.
Is the garage open as well?
No, just the side door is open.
Alright. Over your husband. Alright. And you left the phone in the garage and the vehicle's still there.
The phone is in the bedroom.
I'm sorry?
The phone is in the bedroom. He left the phone in the bedroom.
Alright, then. Has he done this in the past?
No. What possibly? Because he does have a heart.
He has okay, does he have like a medical bracelet?
No. He has an intimidator.
Okay. Your name, please? Thomas. Okay.
I think it's A-L-T-R-A.
By the way, before I forget, Tim is coming back at 5 p.m. today.
So he took
So I'm gonna stop there.
a sleeping pill and then he walked off?
So you heard yourself say he also takes some Benadryl. So I just wanna try to clarify that a little bit. And you started to tell us earlier he had allergies. So, and you had Benadryl in the house. Who would buy that Benadryl?
I don't want to identify it, and the next time he said he bought it, he asked somebody else to buy it for him.
Really? Why would he ask? That's an easy medication you can buy.
He doesn't really want to go to the stores.
Oh, okay. So somebody was going to the store. Can you pick me up some Benadryl? Okay. I got you. Who did the shopping in the house?
Me.
Yeah, you did all the food and groceries.
Yeah, my daughter's the big one. She would come with us sometime.
Okay. He didn't do that? No. Neither do I. So I'll do it either.
Jamaican store, because he likes Jamaican food a lot.
Okay.
So he goes to that store, but grocery now.
Alright, so you said he takes some Benadryl and effects of any of his medications, like making him dizzy or anything? Did he ever go into the canal behind the house, like in the water?
No, not that I know.
Did he ever fall in the canal? So I know the sugar cane that's back there is planted just in the water, just kind of right on the edge. Yeah, right on the edge, literally right on the edge of that canal. And there's big alligators in there. Big ones.
Oh, the alligators, I did not know was in there.
Oh yeah, I was over there the other day. They're big. They were great. Don't mess around back there. Alright, so I told you I'm gonna ask you some very difficult things. I'm gonna be very straight with you. Did you want to kill your husband?
For what? No.
Do you know anyone that wanted to kill him? Have you talked to the medical examiner?
Just that, when Dawn was doing her thing, and they were gonna have, some kind of training, that we were asking them, why we can't get the result back of his, of the everything. And they said they were waiting on the toxicology and everything's coming.
What else did you talk about? Medications with the medical examiner?
That I don't remember. I don't think I did.
Okay.
But when she called back and they were saying about the findings, she says that it was the medicine that has the deep, like what Benadryl have.
Yeah, diphenhydramine. That's the active, that's the antihistamine in Benadryl. So chlorocidin is also an antihistamine, which people with heart problems can use chlorocidin in place of Benadryl. So you said with his allergies, he would complain about, like I wear some colognes that would bother him. My colognes were perfumes that a woman would wear, and dust in the house. Did you have to dust a lot?
Yes.
To keep the house clean?
Yes.
What were his eyes? Did he have itchy eyes? Did he sneeze? What?
No, you would just, that is, irritating his throat.
Okay. So you mentioned Dornette. I would like to clarify some of your relationship with her. Prior to Calvin's passing, she is Calvin's twin sister.
Exactly.
In the year or two up to his death, what was their relationship like?
They were fine. When she has like a party or stuff, her crowd and his crowd is two different crowd, two different.
Right.
Because he goes to church, she doesn't. But sometimes he would say he doesn't want to go to her function, and he would say, no, just go. And then he called me and said, no, these are not my people. I want to be.
That would be like Pembroke Pines or
Pembroke Pines.
Okay.
Yes.
So leading up, was the relationship regular? Did she visit with you folks a lot?
Yeah.
How about his son?
His son would come up every once in a while, and if they were passing through,
Right.
they would come. Like my granddaughter, birthday, they were here. They were here on their way from Orlando.
And what's his name? His son?
Michael.
Where's Michael's mother?
Miami.
She's in Miami.
Yeah, like Michael.
Alright. And so you didn't visit with him regularly?
Michael, I don't like the long traveling.
Would they come up there at all?
They would come up if Calvin's having something, or if they're passing through, they'll come up. Now, I like when people come into the house to give me a heads up, let me know so that I can schedule my time to be there.
Right.
And sometimes, most of the time, they want to come up when I'm not here, so I have to drop what I'm doing. I rush back to the room. And that was one of the things I didn't like with them. With Dawnette, I was never close to her. I did work for her at one time, because I had lost my job at the bank, and she decided to let me work with her. But then afterwards, she said, no, never mind.
What kind of business?
She used to have a floral business where she delivered different flowers to different companies. You know, I was trying to remember the name of the company. But yeah.
If you have it ordered on Amazon right now, you just punch in "Surviving the Survivor" and you can pre-order the book, which would be great. CJ wants to know, Tim, do you have time?
When we were,
Why do you think she had anger toward you?
the mere fact that she didn't want Carmen to marry me, she wanted Carmen to marry Michael's mom because she liked that girl. And when she didn't want Carmen and I were seeing each other, she invited that girl over to the house. This is what she's also telling people, so it's not like I'm saying nothing out of the ordinary. She invited the girl over to the house. Carmen used to work at nights. And she had the girl there waiting for Carmen, so they did their meeting. She got pregnant. She thought that without walking on Carmen and myself, he stopped by me.
How many years were you guys married?
37.
So this goes back a long way. So obviously Calvin passes away and Tornado shows up at your house. What went on from there? What was your engagement like with her?
Whatever she asked me for, I gave it to her.
What did she ask you for?
All the paperwork. Everything that we have, all our paperwork.
Financial? Did she say why she wanted to see that? What business would it be of hers? Your finances?
I don't know, but she was looking. But we just think that she wanted to see if her name was on anything. And then when she said that her name was not in, then she got up and said she needed it.
Can you be specific what she was looking through? Like, what did she look at? What kind of paper?
It had like life insurance. It would say, she would have opened it and said, what is this? What is this? And he would look at it and he said, oh yeah, he has that. And then she opened that up and looked at it. And then she said, Rosa, write this one down. You need to call.
Who's Rosa?
Michael's wife.
Okay.
And then she would go again. She said, the trip statement plan. She said, what is the password? What is your username for this? But at the time, we didn't know what it was.
So, Calvin had life insurance.
He had life insurance.
Who were the beneficiaries?
Michael was on one, myself, and then he had one that had some for his mom.
Okay, so she's still alive?
No, she passed.
So, you, Michael,
And his mom.
Well, obviously she didn't get anything.
So my daughters, he left most of that part so that I would break it up with the kids at the time.
And you have 2 girls with Calvin, right? 3.
One is special needs.
Okay. She still lives with you?
No, she's in a home.
Oh, I'm sorry. So that money has been dispersed. You got yours, Michael got his, your girls got a part of it. How much total was it, do you remember?
No, they were different ones.
And Dornette got
nothing.
Was she upset about that?
She didn't say. She had written a letter, an email to my youngest daughter,
right,
telling her that she needs to come forward and say something because she mentioned a 1.2 million money that my daughter will become a codependent or something like that.
Where was that money coming from?
She is adding up everything that she saw. She didn't know the exact amount because their life insurance at the time is from Globe. We didn't know what was on it because they had to get paperwork before they discuss it with anybody.
How much did you get?
Different policies. Some was over 200,000. Yeah.
Okay. And the house, obviously you guys sold the house. Who owned the house?
Carmen and myself.
Okay, you sold the house. Market's good right now for sales. How'd you make out on that?
We got 110 or 160 extra.
So what's he get, like 500,000 for that house?
Not 320.
300 something.
And they have it that I sold the house like the next week that Carmen passed.
Well, I was going to ask you, what prompted you to sell the house?
Well,
what made you decide to sell?
Before he passed, he says the house is too big for the two of us. So he was looking for houses, it's like, what do you call it? For 55 and up, Spanish lakes in that area.
Okay.
And he was looking over there because we're going to move over there.
Right.
But that never happened. But when we were at the house now, it would just be me alone there since he passed. And I couldn't stay there by myself. But what made me decide to do it quick is because that the Wednesday after he passed, not after he passed, the Wednesday when they have the service for it, nobody tell me that anybody's coming to the house. When I come home, the house was packed with people inside, outside. I don't know all of his family members, but they were all over the house. So I'm saying, if I'm here by myself, what's going to prevent them from swooping in on me again? And I'm like, no.
Who made those arrangements for that get together at your house? Who did that?
I have no idea. Nobody tell me that anybody's coming. Because the last thing that they wanted to do is that they have the service for Calvin. Whoever come, Calvin it go well. And that was it. Then I'm going to have the second service at the church. They were just doing the Wednesday. And then all of a sudden, my sister and my brother, they didn't have any clothes for the funeral on Friday, on Saturday. So they went over to Burlington. And since they're driving up in Burlington, when they're not shopping or anything, I got a call from Michael. You need to come home because you have people over here waiting on you. And I don't know why would people be there. Nobody said they were coming. No food was there, no preparation for people to come. And they're cutting down this coconut, cutting cane, picking fruits. Nobody said to me, can we do that? All they say is my cousin's stuff. And they were in there in this closet. So I'm like, this.
So your daughters helped you pack up?
My daughter, my sister-in-law, and my brother.
What's your relationship like now with Brian?
Oh, we haven't spoken from the.
Understandably, I understand. I can see why. So, okay.
She went, when at the funeral, she went up there on the platform, and she told them this was the service in Miami. She said that, remember all the fruit trees that he used to have? Y'all won't be getting any fruits anymore because her husband went online. This is at the funeral. Her husband went online and see that the house is selling, right? God, the last days he was complaining how he sent all these fruits to different people and then he mails them out and nobody would say, here's $1 to help with postage. When they get the food, they don't call him and say that he has to call them. So they're thinking here that, Calvin do this, but he was complaining about them in the end. But why would he go up on the platform to announce all of that? And she was looking to have a fight. But I am not that type of person. So I'd rather go sit in a room, stay away from him, don't talk to him, and that's all I have to say.
Do you have any additional questions? Do you have any questions for me?
Just waiting to see what's going on with everything.
Well, as you know, the medical examiner determined the cause of death was an accidental drowning, complicated by betrayal. So, what we don't know is if he fell in the water while he was back there working or something, which is possible.
Nighttime, so he would have been working in the nighttime.
He went back there for something because he ended up in the water. That's the thing. I mean, only he knows that. I mean,
So they're thinking of, sorry if I spit it, they're thinking of Calvin before, which Calvin before was a very outgoing person.
Right.
You would see that he knows everybody, everybody. And then all of a sudden he just withdraw. He doesn't want to make all these phone calls.
Why do you think that is, though?
We don't know. He wouldn't talk to us.
How was your marriage then?
It was good. Not that it was, like
37 years.
Yeah. And he has his ways where he wants it his way.
Right.
Right? But no, if I'm mad at you, no, I'm not gonna stay in the room to fight over something. I'll just wait after a while to cool down. In the room, or he will come over to where I am.
You guys ever have physical? Did he ever hit you? Did you ever hit him?
Of course not. No.
Alright.
Just calling Geo language was grumpy all night. And he found out what it means because he told his cousin.
That's a long time to be married, so you got.
So you spray and then you scrub or what?
You're a little fast time to time. So the cell phone, like we talked about, I could go back to some other stuff, but the cell phone, you called it, it rang.
Yeah, it's spraying like the shower and the tub. I do that green thing, the like square scrubby that's not abrasive, but let me tell you, it will come out. Your mistakes and your swirls are going to come out every day.
You're upset. I get that. Alright. Well, if you have any questions in the future, you can always call and ask. Like I told you, the medical examiner's findings, those were findings. That they concluded that he drowned accidentally, and it was because whenever he went into the water, he was on that medication and it affected him. That medication can affect people in different ways. We're still doing some work on it, as you know, because we're sitting here talking, and hopefully we'll be wrapping it up soon, and we'll let you know when it's concluded. So,
What after you guys do your fighting and whatever you did, what is the next step God is going to go through now?
I can't control her. I don't know. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know what she's going to do.
What's in her pose? How long ago? How long ago was this?
1992 when we first bought our house.
Are you already married?
No, we bought our house before we got married.
Okay.
I was 28 years old. Younger than my daughter is right now.
I don't know what she's going to do.
I am actually screen recording Fonteyn interviewing the bitch because I need to add it to the email. You notice I add the links to the email? Oh, okay. But you should be able to you should see like pictures of the videos, right? So I want to add it, so I have to screen record it and then put it in. So it's almost done. I mean, here we go. It's almost done though. It's at 9:55 and it has, I think, 5. It finishes at 10, so maybe 5. 5 more. I don't know. Full of shit, that man, Fonteyn. Oh, you know what? Let me do it on my iPad since this is going. I can do it on my iPad. Hold on. Let me do it on my iPad. But I want. You sure you're going to be available? It's 2:53 now. If I call you back in 10 minutes, it looks like it's going to take 10 minutes. That's fine? Okay. 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 I'm coming. Okay, perfect. Okay.
She said, all that money y'all get is going to go towards lawyer fees. That's what she told us.
Do you have that letter?
I could ask my daughter.
Did you get it?
That email.
Did it?
Yeah.
Can you email it or print it out? Bring it to us.
I'll check to see if she's still
the same time, you can pursue that through that field. You know, you can civilly. You hire an attorney and go that route. So, but if you have that email, I would like a copy of it if you do have that.
She cursed my daughter out in the streets when we were honoring Calvin. She looks up stuff that happens from when the children were younger.
Right.
You know, but I know she didn't play the part. She was playing parts of Detective Myers thing. And I told Detective Myers that's one of the things why I'm not close to her is that one of the times she and her daughter was having an issue. And she said she wished her daughter would just jump from a bridge and die. And I'm like, how can a mother say that? So I decided, I'm not going to be in her crowd. And they talk bad about each other's soul. You could hear them on the phone. I don't want my name to be called up in anything. So I stayed to myself. On my Facebook page, back in 2013, I wrote on there, complicated for relationship, just to see if anybody would make a comment on it. Nobody did. A Calvin passed, and the pastor of the church, he and his wife searching on my Facebook page, and I put it out there that my relationship was complicated. And I'm like, but that's from 2013. You know, I'm like, why is a pastor digging into